Let's be frank. I mean, we need to celebrate these moments. I think when we hit these thresholds, 70, 80, let's hope 90%, because it's the way we get back to a bit of normality in our lives.
Yeah, I think summer's potentially not looking too bad at all for the outbreak states, Kieran. So the new New South Wales Crisis Cabinet Committee will meet this afternoon at 5:30 p.m. to decide on what, if any, changes will be made to the reopening roadmap. And they have good reason to consider this, given that it appears New South Wales will reach the magic target of 70% double vaccination today. The latest vaccination figures from close of business yesterday has New South Wales at 89% first dose. Will this cap out at 92 or so percent of over 16s? Because that's slowing that rate. And 69.1% second dose, which means you get to 70% today. The case numbers continue to drop in New South Wales as well at 594 cases, but 10 more deaths from COVID-19. In Victoria, incidentally, they're still a way behind in terms of the vaccination rate. 83.6% first dose, 54.5% second dose. We know the rates in Queensland and WA are around only 69 first dose. And as for the ACT, that other lockdown centre, 94.7% first dose, 68.8% second dose. Now, given some people from interstate like me were vaccinated in the ACT, that is contributing to those high numbers, so it could help it push it to the 100% mark in the ACT even, but not much vaccine hesitancy in the national capital clearly. The New South Wales double dose 69% figure means that come reopening day on Monday, which new Premier Dominic Perrottet has said will stay the same date, the actual double vaccination rate will be around the 74% mark, well past 70%. This could enable the rule of one person per 4 square metres to be changed to one every 2 square metres if that crisis committee decides that this afternoon. Perrottet keeping the timeline the same as Gladys Berejiklian, not bringing it a couple of days forward the reopening so as not to be painted as too much of a let-it-ripper, apparently. Perrottet today was quizzed by Ben Fordham on 2GB about schools going back and any possible dramas around that.
We are in a position now where our vaccination rate is getting to the point where closures and increased restrictions will be the last resort, not the first action. And but ultimately, we need to keep kids safe. We need to keep teachers safe. And that's also in the interest of parents who would agree, who are listening to your show.
He was also questioned around suggestions he will bring forward rights for the unvaccinated from the present target date of December 1.
The advice that we received at that point in time from health was this was the pathway forward. I'm very proud to be leading a state where our people have come out in significant numbers at such a great rate to get vaccinated. And I believe we're going to be well above 90% before the end of the year. And that's an incredibly positive thing. Now, we can't force people to get vaccinated.
Yesterday in the first one-on-one interview with the Premier in the job, he said that New South Wales citizens had to get used to the idea of more COVID cases and hospitalisations as they opened up.
There will be challenges, there will be hospitalisations, but we have to live in the world and take the world the way it is, not how we want it to be. And if we don't make those tough decisions and open up, well, there are substantial other issues that will occur as well, and that the impacts on mental health, the impacts on our kids' education. This is not just a health pandemic. There are so many other factors associated with it as well.
And I asked the Premier about how he will fare in terms of his often fraught relationship with the Chief Health Officer, Kerry Chant.
I mean, Kerry's my favourite constituent. She lives in Epping, and we get on incredibly well. You know, I think that there are misleading reports in relation to that, but ultimately, Kerry and I have a very, very strong relationship. You know, she always respects my position, and I respect her position. As Treasurer, my number one focus is to keep people in jobs, to keep businesses open. Kerry's focus and the Health Minister's focus is to keep people safe. It's a difficult balance.
So Perrottet and Chant at that crisis committee meeting this afternoon, and of course, I expect an announcement tomorrow out of that. And of course, Paul TOOLE, elected Nationals leader, and Deputy Premier to replace John Barilaro today, Kieran.